guys, back in the review. Big Tom.
Damien.
We're going to be doing the Fogger V2 today.
Fogger V2, which is a rebuildable atomiser. It's a bottom fed rebuildable. It can either use mesh or silica wick. And it's nice. It's a cheap atomiser. It's £30 worth of rebuildable. And I must say, when you get it right, when you sussed it out, it's a beautiful vape. It tastes fantastic. The flavour production on this is really nice. The vapour is really nice and thick, hence why they've probably called it the Fogger. Now, there is a little bit of controversy over this atomiser. Is it a clone? Is it not a clone? Personally, it takes off of a few atomisers. Its wicking method and system is a take off the Typhon GT. The font, I have one with the font and the logo in the top section, is off the Fogger. It's the same font, Fogger, Fogger. You know, there's a similarity. But personally, it's not a direct clone of anything, not a direct clone of one thing. It's not like the Chemesis or the Chipu or the Sentinel or the Trident or those ones that have been directly cloned. It's had a little bit of effort put into it. At least they've decided to steal a fair few ideas rather than just taking one. Like I said, it's a good price. This got to me landed at 30 quid. I bought it off a gentleman or a company on Facebook called Kick Butts. I've been thinking about that name for a few days. It's very strange, but yes, Kick Butts. They do have a shop, I think, and they're starting to sell the Fogger. £30 landed. Got to me next day delivery, which I was quite impressed about. It came in a nice little box, and it also had a bag of spares. We got a little screwdriver in there, we had some O-rings, we have some wire, and we had some mesh with silica inside, like a hybrid wick. It did come pre-coiled and wicked. We took that thing straight out upon looking at it, but I must say it took me a good 2 or 3 hours to get this thing working right. At first it was diabolical. It was hard. Basically, the way it comes with it, it has an O-ring over the well where you wick, where basically you have your grooves where your silica or your mesh sits in, and then it had an O-ring that goes over the top of them. So, I mean, I've watched a couple of reviews on this. I've seen it written about on the forums and people were discussing that you needed the O-ring, otherwise it would flood. So I left the O-ring in, and after about an hour I took the O-ring out because it was strangling the wick. So I was getting nothing but dry hits and a burnt taste. And I mean a burnt taste, it was like sucking on the fumes of Guy Fawkes. I'm telling you, it was absolutely like chewing on his ashes. It was horrible. It was.
So there was nothing wrong with the coiling. So we'll
no, I mean I was sitting there going to Tom, look, my coils are pretty, and they were all spaced out, and they were bang on. I was really like tongue out and everything, doing my coils. You know, I was getting them all right. There was no hot spots, and it was still giving a burnt taste. So I just went bollocks to it, flicked out the O-ring. I made sure I had enough silica. I used one 2mm Echo wall, folded over, put it in there nice and firm, so it basically filled the 2 grooves. I had 3 wraps of Canthal 0.2. I came out at 1.5 ohms. I then removed the O-ring. I screwed down the chimney. Put in I made sure it was nice and juiced up before I put the chimney on. Took a few vapes of it with just the chimney on, like you would with a K-Fun, and it got a nice flavour from it. I then filled it, and it started working. But it was tricky to get going to begin with. I've seen a review. And a few people mentioned that they've had problems with shorting from this. The 510 pin at the bottom was touching the side and causing some problems. I haven't had that once with this. I did actually put, you get some little O-rings in this, really small ones. You get some ones obviously for the well, but you get some really tiny ones as well. I did take Todd's advice from Todd's reviews, and I took the 510 out. A 510 pin out from the bottom. I put the O-ring in, I put it in, but I wasn't getting any shorting before I did that. I was vaping it for a bit before I did that, and I wasn't getting any shorting issues, but I did it anyway. It makes sense, so why not? Yeah, I mean, it's got its airflow ring, which is great. You know, for a £30 atomiser, you get air control. It's all stainless steel. Even get a stainless steel drip tip. I mean, it's a bit, the drip tip's a bit funky. It's a bit wobbly. It doesn't fit in great. But you know, £30.
Can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. But like I said, it's a fiddly little git to get going. I'll show you on the close-ups why it's fiddly. But when you do get it, the taste is fantastic. I mean, when you get it right, the taste is on par with the K-Fun. Definitely. It has that similar sort of vapour production and taste. It was really, really nice. I'm running out of juice now. It does need a bit more juice to go in, but
apart from that, it's lovely. It's really nice for £8. What you say?
Great vapour production. You can see why they call it the Fogger. You know, so yeah, I'm really impressed with it for what it is. A £30 atty from China. So yeah, it is the second version. They did have a Fogger V1. It didn't have air control. I'm not too sure what else the difference was. I never got one. But yeah, this is the V2. People are raving about it. Some people are slagging it. It just depends on how it works for you, really. You might get lucky with it and it might work for you first time, or you might have a bit of a shit one like I did for a couple of hours, or you might have a proper shit one and it just won't fucking work for you at all. Luck of the draw, really. It's like a lucky dip, this vaping game, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's one of them things. So yeah, we'll have a little go down now and we'll have a show you what it's all about. So here we have the Fogger V2 as it came through the door. It comes in this little box like this, or at least mine did. Atomiser written on it. Atomiser series. Oh, from Lilong. There we go, from Lilong. Thank you very much, Lilong. So I'm going to open this up. And there you have your V2 and your spares there. So that's how it comes. I'll take this bad boy out if I can. First of all, we have a look at the spares. You have a screwdriver, you have O-rings, and you have wire and mesh with a piece of silica in the middle of it. That can go over there. Okay, so here you have your Fogger V2, which is a nice design. You have your stainless steel drip tip. Unscrew that to show your tank. So that screws on, just that little bit connects there, so no problems of trying to pull that off or having an accident. So that just comes off straight away. There you have a screw in the top for filling, and the tank just pops off. So it's held on by an O-ring, but it pops off, but it's got good, it's nice and tough really there, so you're not really going to have a problem. Okay, there you have your chimney. Take the chimney off. There you have your well. So here's where the problem starts. It does come with an O-ring around the well there. As you can see, mine has gone, been thrown away. I've chucked it, I don't want it. It strangles the wicks. So there you have your canals there, where you place your silica wick inside, so, or your steel mesh, whatever. Your mesh and silica goes through the middle, plods down out the sides like this, so it can take in your juice. There you have your positive and negative posts. You can possibly see how close they are to the side of the well. So that is where your first issue will happen. On the Tayfun, this pushes down. That goes down there to allow you access to the posts. On this one, it doesn't. It's there for good. So you're going to have to work around it. So once you put in your mesh, once you've coiled, well, coil first, put in your silica or your mesh, and then obviously wrap round your two posts whilst you're in there, space them out, job's a good one. And you have your airflow. So yeah, adjustable 510. Basically I've taken this out, so let me get a little screwdriver here. That does come out, so it is adjustable. Excuse me. So take that out and you can see I've put a little O-ring inside there to stop it from shorting. I wasn't getting any shorts to begin with, but better be safe than sorry, so I took Todd's advice. I put the O-ring in, I screwed back the pin, just enough so that you could get connection, because it wasn't firing on my Fogger to begin with because it was too far inside. And there you go. So once you've had a look at it all, you can go ahead and start to wick this bad boy. And like I said, it might take you a few goes. Lose the O-ring because it strangles the wicks. That's happened for me personally anyway. And once I lost that O-ring, I let it settle for a little bit. It tasted fantastic. So there's your Fogger V2.
So we're back from looking at the Fogger V2 close up. Fiddly little.
So yeah, so as you saw there, its main issue is the well with your positive and negative pins in there. Unlike the Tayfun GT, which is copied that sort of version from the way you wick it from. You cannot push down the well surrounding the positive and negative posts. So basically, you have to wick it, get your silica in nice and tight, and then get your wire around those posts. And those posts are very, very close to the side of the bottom unit. Which can be fiddly. It's not ridiculously hard. It's just fiddly. And being a vapor, we're lazy. We want things done for us. But that's the only thing. And like I said, my advice would be to get rid of that O-ring completely. That's worked for me. It just strangles the wicks and doesn't allow the liquid to get inside to the coil, and therefore you're going to get a burnt taste. The 510 connection at the bottom. Take Todd's advice, put the O-ring in, it makes perfect sense, put that in. It is adjustable, the 510. I did notice when I first got it yesterday, it wouldn't register on the Fogger when it came out of the box, and even when I called it, I thought, oh Christ, I might have gone sub-ohm on it, which I didn't think I had done because I'd done 3 wraps and it wasn't registering. So I had another look at it and realised that the 510, as it came in the box, was pushed up into the bottom a bit too far, so therefore I just took it out a little bit and it registered on the Fogger and gave me a 1.5 resistance. 6 mil of juice. You get it working right and you've got a good day and a half, 2 days, 3 days for some of your vape on it. You know what I mean? 6 mil of juice. You can go anywhere you bloody like without taking your juice with you. It's a lot of juice, you know.
It's huge.
It's a big tank, you know. It's really good. So, and it's a top filler as well. I think the first Fogger was a bottom or a bottom filler. So this one's from the top. They've taken the advice of a lot of vapors there. Steel drip tip, stainless steel drip tip as it is. It's just a bit. It's a bit loose. It's not great. Maybe a bigger O-ring or something in there for that. It looks the part. Once again, the wife has got the JM22, but I really do think this would look nice on the JM22. It's got that same sort of groove design at the top as the JM22, but it suits the Enzonic really nice. It suits a Nemesis really nice, and it looks good on a Fogger.
Yeah, it does.
As long as you've got a beauty ring. It's a 22 mil diameter, and yeah, it's for £30 it's a bloody bargain. For me, it's been a bargain. Like I said, I had a bit of a bad first impression with it until I started really giving it a good look and a good talking to, and then I got it working, I got it wicking, and it tastes fantastic. Like I said, it's the flavour is on par for me with a Tayfun, and it's half the price. 2 Fogger V2s for the price of a light, or 3 or 4 V2s for the price of a 3.1. So it's up to you. You know what I mean? I would recommend getting it. I'd recommend getting it just for the fiddliness of it, just to, because after a few hours of pain in the arse not getting it right, and you do get it right, you get that sense of yes, accomplishment. And for £30, you know, is a good bit of fun to have to get it working right. And like I said, mine hasn't had any shorting issues at all, and I've had it for well over 24 hours, and I was messing with it for a good long time yesterday. Haven't had any issues with that side at all. One thing I will say that I do have with it is when I first wick it, when I first juice it up, leave it for a couple of minutes to let the juice settle in and embed into the wicks. Otherwise you will get a little gurgling sound. It does flood a little bit, but then after a couple of minutes it soaks up into the wicks and you don't have a problem, and it starts vaping very well after that. So there you go, the Fogger V2. £30. I think they're going to be doing them at Celtic Vapes this week, so have a look at Celtic Vapes. Gary's a decent guy. I know that Gary's not having the logo on his Fogger V2, so if you'd rather it without the Fogatti font and without the logo on it, I know Gary's getting them in stock. So yeah, that's the Fogger V2. I like it a lot. I'm quite happy with it. I do love the fact it contains 6 bin of juice. That is a bonus. So yeah, well done. Get yourself one. 30 quid, you can't be wrong. Okay. Take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the review. See you later now.